techie team. They know that MIT's football team is called Engineers, and we say go Tech, and our mascot's name is Team. Is it all related?
That's the tip backwards.
That's absolutely disgusting.
You know that dog backwards is not.
Oh, dude.
So what?
Do that bed backwards is Deb.
Oh my god. It's like Java
You
and
know
Java.
that bad backwards is bad.
You know what? Dog backwards is?
What? Dog food lid?
It is not like
Oh my god, that's hilarious! Oh my god! Oh my god! I don't know why that's so funny, dude. Holy crap. Oh, that's hilarious. That's classic. It's classic, dude.
It's the classic.
Yeah, and the fact that there's so much vague information.
What the?
Team is like, oh!
Then we cut that.
right, he walks along the path and fixes the machine.
And they say like, oh, this will save me a lot of time.
Oh. This was.
And then we get
Guys,
this
we're going to
large
spend about another
facility.
5 minutes wrapping up your storyboards, and then we'll let you pair off with another group to kind of share what experiences you've discovered. So another 5 minutes to work. And then after that, we'll do a cool little demo.
So I can become top 2.
You guys are done already? It's done early. You guys can download this app. PTC called Works for You. You can play with the AR experience. We brought slap bracelets because everyone loves slap bracelets. But if you have the thing work for you and actually capture this mark, it'll be a VR experience or AR experience. So feel free to.
Oh, and this also the values for direct feedback.
Slap
So maybe
bracelets.
after somebody, like later this person can like check if it was good or bad and give feedback.
Correct.
Oh, there's a robot.
So professional.
Yeah, so let's see. Did we adjust his time value? Yes, because it said we keep time. Is it simple enough? Unclear.
Range is a 4.
But there is direct feedback. Oh, the multiple models of robotics machine. Well, I guess we didn't do anything. Great.
Literally, it's Uber for technicians.
Yep.
Machine share.
So first we'll accumulate a lot of data, how pictures of broken robots and how he fixed them. And then we'll replace technician with a machine learning algorithm.
Machine learning algorithm?
Machine learning algorithm will become the ACM International.
We're going to
top
PKB?
10.
Rockspot.
No, we're going to run.
Okay. Got him. Rockspot's much cheaper. I have a pass to Rockspot.
Other than that,
They were a prototype. She used them as a prototype.
Wait, so
Like a
did they
hollow
bait you?
band.
Did they bait you?
I'll see it if
Now
I
they're
go
giveaways.
because I was gonna go have them afterwards.
Where?
This is why, like, if I bait you first, you're more likely to get baited.
If you guys want to play around with the app,
Oh,
it has a marker on it.
Good way to think about
Whoa!
Wait, I think that is.
Wait, what? What do you mean it has a
Ready?
Oh, it has this one.
Ready?
Wait. So like, this is what we're gonna use to connect to an app or something, right?
Yeah, it's a code.
Yeah, so it's basically a QR code that's been modified to allow better tracking. That's essentially what it is. You can use them on launch experiences. You don't necessarily need to, but there's an option. So we do them on bracelets because it's just easier.
Is this why this app is there? Like, is it connected to the app?
Yeah, so the app uses that as a launcher.
You know where?
Yeah.
Do I know where you are? Yeah, so like if I wanted to, I could pull data, but it would have to be done on the application side. It's not stored as metadata in the app by default.
Ouch!
Yeah, I know the creepy app backpack. Oh,
The tracker?
Yeah, I just had like a unique pattern on that.
Wait, I never seen this backpack. Do you have it? Does anyone have it?
It looked like a, you know, like it looked like a plaid design. Like, it's white.
It was pretty cool.
I still think it's creepy. Like people like put down their backpacks. You see like somebody over your backpack with like scanning your QR code. That's easy.
I have a pen. I have been Apple pen.
I have one,
I don't know about those ones. Okay, never even seen them.
I did a basic inspection.
Is Eric from East Campus?
You just touch me.
Okay.
So we can be spotted by the
You want to make friends? You take a picture of his kids from MIT.
Alright, looks like most people are now in Hollow Band World, so probably a good time to stop. And if you want to like just meet up, I know it's not the greatest seating situation to get with another group, but just kind of share your ideas that you came up with on the digital experience for solving the problem for the use cases we have. And that way you can kind of get maybe see how somebody else had a different approach and get some feedback and see how things are different. Once we'll spend, I don't know, it shouldn't take too long to do that, probably 5 to 10 minutes, and then we have a short demo we'd love to show you with ThingWorks Studio that Alexander will do to wrap it up. If anybody wants to wristband, check out the AR experience. Go ahead, break off. Sure.
Should people just find a different group next to them?
Yeah, whatever's easiest. Just it's a good way to, instead of having people come up and share, it takes too long, but getting with another group to see different ideas and a little feedback is nice.
I find it easy to show your experience. Yo, thank you. Hamish, did you do the same? Do you want to share experiences? How about you guys? Because we are 4 people.
Oh, you're just looking for smaller teams to play on.
Yes. Evolution, man. Evolution.
I'm down to play Evolution. It's
It's
like the high through AR.
Actually, I can see how it could be compared to this game. You know, like this
Twitch, yeah.
What's usually
like it's a great board game.
down?
Only cool boys can play.
Hey, you wanna come over to the next one? Or please?
No.
This is
No, we're 4 hours ago.
Wait, literally next is so close.
Do you want to share it with us or
Really,
with
it's
them?
not.
We all share it together. I mean,
Okay, yeah, alright.
Okay.
Alright,
I
so,
don't technically look like her.
yo, kids, pay attention.
Oh, you're so troll.
Alright, we
Alright,
have a presentation.
let's share.
Alright, let's share. So, we have this techie team guy. He wants to be the top ACME international technician. And we figured that he really values his time and he has a lot of requests. And right now, everything is handled with paperless stuff. So how about we have another person in the facility who has a problem with the robotic arm. It's like, oh, it's broken. And then they use an app that we built on their phone, and they fill out the form, what's actually broken. So instead of a paper form, it's an app form. And they can take a picture of it. So the team knows what it is and where it is. So now, oh, like later when it's resolved.
No, this is when he gets ticket.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it team?
Yeah, that's Tim.
Okay, so
That's why you have left and
team
right.
gets a ticket on his phone, and he can actually go and fix it. So now we eliminated the papers. And we have the second part, which is like, now, since the app has all the information about all the problems with this big facility, it can sort it by priority, and it can use machine learning to optimize the path through the facility to fix it in order to minimize the walking time around the facility. So now, here's a map of the facility with a lot of different issues, and team says, oh, this will save me a lot of time navigating this large facility, so I can become top technician in ACME International. And he goes around this. And since one of the values the team has is feedback, since one of the values is direct feedback, after it fails, the original person can look at it and give team 5 stars if they satisfied. So it's an Uber for technicians. This is geniuses.
Absolute genius.
Absolute genius. Very stable.
Start up. Who wants to go next? You guys want to go next? Or you want to go? We can go next. But this is
This giant.
no, it's a mobile / tablet.
So once Tim gets a notification, we're assuming that someone like on the home already is focusing on Tim. We get like a screen that shows like a map, like where all the tickets are, and like a list of like priorities, and like where Tim is on the map, so that you can like look at what's like the closest and what's the highest priority, and like get more information about the thing. Because it says whatever like the paper tickets are vague before, there's like more information, so like it can help him fix things faster. And like log all the results so that like they're saved in the database, so that like other technicians in the future can also access it solve faster, like future problems. And then like they're like it's all fixed and you can get feedback.
I have a question. So since you share the database of solutions with other technicians, does this help other technicians to become top technicians in ACME International?
If there's no top nation, you have to help everyone. That's the idea.
You have to first make your company.
You gotta make the company.
Oh, so first your company gets the top technicians at ACME International.
It's based on your performance as well as feedback from other people. You're gonna help it. It's
Yeah, sure.
And the guys with the laptop, clicks file services, and then it's like a form, fill out the problem, and it's like a drop down menu, and then while he's waiting, it's like in the there's a new request. And he looks at the request and it tells him what the team's problem is. And then based on what the problem is, the website will automatically give him the right thing. So then he like presses the look at it and he goes to the person and he talks to the guy and he
Team is wearing a hat, and he looks like the XKCD guy.
oh yeah, well yeah. He needed some way to differentiate differentiate them.
Hat. I wouldn't have thought a hat. That's good. Glasses, yeah, hat is. No, but the technician needs a hat, like the parts, right? So it makes sense. Right? So you can go on heavy machine.
No, what the fuck? Okay.
That kind of looks like a top hat, but it's a hard hat.
Oh, boy. Hey.
Yeah.
He was down like 8 to 7 months.
I honestly,
2.5 step
if none of the other three responses do, what would be the best line?
Good question. What game is Day 2 now?
What?
He's down 3 kills.
Hearthstone for the most part. He does like a Dota, yeah. Also, he does he's right now making a Brood War StarCraft tutorial.
If there's more discussion that you guys want to do after, we definitely encourage that. I hope it's been a good process for you guys. Alexander's going to just do a demo, so we're going to launch AR development course probably in March, I think. And so we have a demo from a short use case that might look familiar to you guys. We'll do a demo right now, the iPad.
All right, so for our course, we use the same use case as one of the problem statements that we wanted to use when walking students through how you develop for AR. So if you look at this, credentials.
So what he's showing you is similar to what's on the wristband. If you haven't got one, come up and get one. It's called a thing mark, and it's what PTC uses to recognize AR experiences. So what Alexander's doing, he's scanning that thing mark, and a robot arm appears.
So this should look familiar. And the problem that we chose to address is, all right, there's an issue, and if you're a service technician, you have to fix it. But in industry, it's really common that if you're a technician, you're not fixing one problem on one machine. Like if you work for Caterpillar and you're a technician, you have to be able to fix, say 20 different problems across their entire product line. And actually being able to, one, have the expertise to diagnose that problem, and then two, remembering the particular sequence on how you do it is really challenging. So I'm showing this off an iPad, but we envisioned that this would be on the head-mounted display, like the HoloLens for our conceptualization. And what you're seeing right now is there's the two most common fault points are these motors in the shoulder and in the lower arm, and they're highlighted blue right now. So we tried to use a particular power language that Jonathan can speak more to draw your attention to it. And you can see a fault has appeared, and there's a really big visual indicator. So if I tap on that motor, I can then look around and see some key telemetry coming up. So the motor is about 173 degrees, which if I'm a mechanical engineer, that's telling me that something's really wrong. Also, it's around 400 volts, so that would probably explode a while ago. But there's clearly some fault there. So I then have the option of the gain surface, and if I do that, it takes me to the particular service repair sequence for that. So now that I've diagnosed the problem, it's going to walk me through how do I fix that problem. So first thing is to disconnect the wire harness, and then if I come in, I need to unscrew the screws, those come out, and then so on and so forth, remove the motor, insert a new one. So this is, the purpose of this project would be one, to try and introduce the students to some of the things where problem solving with AR makes sense, right? Like, I don't need an AR texting, that's not helpful. That's a perfectly fine process the way it is. But for things where my hands need to actually be able to do something, like cooking, maybe an AR recipe book actually makes sense because I don't want to have to go back and forth. So this is an example, one, of showing them, appropriate industry use cases for AR, but then on a technical level, they'll actually go through and build it and learn how to apply those techniques. So that's all I got, guys. Cool.
questions about what he just showed, like the technology behind that. We're going to show you a slide of where you can download that app, and you can create that experience in about 5 minutes. We have all the assets. All of our industry partners have all their models, their CAD models on our software, on our cloud. Just import it into the AR experience and the workshop, and then broadcast it on these thing marks that you saw here. So it's a really quick, easy to do experience. AR is not that hard to get into. If you guys have any questions, you can go to, if you want to get started, actually, you can go to the site. It's called ThingWorks Studio. It's free, free trial. You can get started. Students, you can probably get it free as well. Next slide is our online course platform that teaches you how to use this software. So if you want to get started right away, we have free courses right now on this website called IoTuniversity.com, IoTU.com. You can take courses for free. They're really quick, probably 4 hours at most, and you can design something like that really, really fast. So AR in a quick minute.
Yeah, and if you guys do have the slap bands, didn't already realize that the app is called ThingWorks Studio, and it's available in the App Store. So in order to use that slap bracelet to see the AR experience, you need to have the app. It's free. But, so yeah, wow all your friends with a cool thing on your wrist. Bring back the 80s.
Any questions? Comments?
Is this code ever different?
This is actually the same. So basically,
Yeah, not to completely cut you off, Ryan. So the thing marks are serialized. So across all the bands we gave you guys, those are all the same, right? But there's two parts to them. They're numerically serialized. So like the first part is the family, and the second part is which individual one. So if I'm a customer, right, let's say I'm customer 1128. I'll have a whole tree of thing marks that are all numbered 1128 and then some number following it. So I can have, if I have 60 different products, maybe it's a marketing thing that just does a how-to video or stuff like that comes off. I would have 60 different ones. But they're also integrated with our IoT solution. So like, say Tesla, right? You take out your phone and you want to see telemetry from your car. With other solutions, you would have to hard bind one-to-one each unique marker to each unique device. Because they're serialized and they come off our IoT platform, you can basically use them like a template and just copy paste, so each one is unique to each car. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I have a question that you were talking about earlier, like, for example, you were storyboarding a kind of solution for something that would use, like, car parking meters, and it seemed really cool and that would be really useful. One thing that always seemed difficult for me with Internet of Things is, like, for example, like, integrating with a parking meter is difficult because they don't already have the technology built into them to allow you to interact with them. And like you said, you would need a network of them to all be communicating with each other. There's like a lot of background infrastructural stuff that, if it was existing, would make like AR plug-in super nicely into all of them. And I think ideally the future is that these things will eventually turn to something like that and have a system where all of these parts are integrated and connected to the internet. But what I don't know is like, what's the process? Like, do you guys have a vision of like what that transition would be like? Are you guys like thinking of like partnering with like, I don't know, like local like city of Cambridge to try to change things like that? Or like, what's the idea of like the transition from nowadays where nothing is connected to the internet really? That's like standard like parking meters. Some of them are, but like to a future where everything is like connected to like AR applications.
So like, I'll answer that in part, and these guys can jump in. One of the ways that we position our IoT platform, ThingWorks, is actually, we call it a digital transformation platform, because if you call it an IoT platform, that's not really what it is. That competes with AWS and a whole bunch of other stuff. Really, we don't care what you build it on top of. We're trying to get our customers to a point where they see the potential of IoT and they actually get devices connected to the internet. So in terms of like your specific example, that would be more relationship where one of our customers says, okay, we have an idea, we want to, help City of Cambridge digitize your parking meter solution, do that. And they would come to us and we would say, okay, we know how to connect devices to the internet, and we know how to get data off them. Let's show you what that roadmap looks like and what the steps are. Because they might not have that experience, but we do. And that's where we can kind of be the hand-holding guide to get them there.
Good job. Well, in terms of like a high-level IoT, this is, I think, an IoT problem is that there's no standard protocol for all devices to talk to each other, right? Like, there's this service called IFTTT, if then this, this then that, where you can connect all these disparate devices connected to this IFTTT that makes them talk to each other. But there isn't like a single protocol where everything is able to, understand the same things. A bunch of different devices talking with different language. So it's a much bigger problem, and I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of smart people, will try to figure that out.
And we actually, PTC bought a company called Kepware that literally all they do is like, okay, we're going to connect a CNC in a factory from the 1950s that someone strapped a PLC to, and we want to connect that to, an Azure cloud. Like, how does that work? Kepware, we bought it because they specialize in taking devices with really different communication protocols and making sense of them and getting them into the cloud in a way that you can actually understand. Cool. I think you had a question over there.
I was just wondering, do more companies approach you for help, or do you see companies that you think would benefit from your ideas?
I think it's probably about 50-50 from what I've seen. Like, we have, PTC has a pretty large existing customer base, so we had over 2,000 customers solely from our old CAD manufacturing business. And if you look at where the most value is in IoT, it is in manufacturing and production. So we've been able to leverage our existing relationships with them and say, okay, like, you're buying our software, we get that, but we can help you in way X, Y, Z if you entertain this notion. And then there are some
Partners too are a big channel.
Yeah.
We have a huge partners channel where we're partners with other companies or consulting firms or companies that are building out solutions, and we're a piece of their puzzle to help deliver what they need. So it's a large network. It's a big company.
And it's interesting because PTC is sort of like a dinosaur company. A lot of big, John Deere, NASA, Lockheed, they use our software to make their products, so CAD software. And given that they all have all this CAD models in their database, now we're helping them pivot their products into the cloud with IoT. So historically, we've had these companies in our portfolio. Now it's just helping them get into AR, helping them get into IoT. So it's kind of an interesting relationship there. CAD, computer-aided design. So like, it's the ability to design products in 3D on a computer versus like old school drafting table if you're a mechanical engineer, that sort of thing. So like Google SketchUp is an example of CAD.
I think you have a question.
Yeah, I was curious if you have an example company that's made this transition and like a cool application that they
GE. GE would be the best one.
Also, you've been working with GE on their IoT application.
Yeah, so GE's IoT application is built on top of ThingWorks, and they are our largest partner, right?
Like Caterpillar.
I think a really good example is John Deere. Like back in the 80s, they started using PTC CAD software to model their tractors, right? And now that John Deere has thousands of tractors in the field, they have this interesting problem. Now, can we connect smart connected sensors to connect those tractors to the cloud? Now you have a smart tractor that's connected to IoT. So that's something that John Deere has recently started moving into, is we can create automated tractors. Tractors can talk to other tractors, all the models that they used decades ago. So it's an interesting transformation. Now they're not really a company. I mean, they are primarily, but now that they're connecting their hardware to the cloud, it's also software. They're getting into software. So
Yeah, so
tooling is like
part of that is being able to leverage, okay, we can automate, right? There's a hierarchy of capabilities here. There's like, first thing, you can get data off it, then you can control it, and then you can automate it, and if you can automate it, you can optimize it, right? So like, John Deere can get data off their tractors, and the first level there is like, okay, we see how they're performing, we can build better tractors. And now we can control them, and now we can automate them. But then one of the transitions John Deere has been making is, okay, we can use machine learning and we can look at different fertilizer and planting patterns and optimize that behavior. And then on top of that, we can pull in weather data from our partners and sell this as a service to all of our customers that aren't actually buying tractors, they're renting them from John Deere. So John Deere ends up competing with Monsanto rather than competing against Caterpillar. It's a really weird transition. Like John Deere's hiring more software engineers than they are mechanical engineers now.
Sweet. Well, we really appreciate you guys having us out. Hope you guys got a lot out of this, and we're gonna have some fun doing it too. So we appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys and do this. So yeah, anything else?
I think that's it. You guys are free as far as we're concerned.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break, and then Monday will present his lecture on what you should do in your programming project and what you shouldn't do. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. And everybody that wanted flat rice on that
Wait, what? Render?
Oh. Yeah, it's not like that. Highlight they should make
Wait, so how do you...
Yeah, for a lot of companies.
so we posted it on GitHub's GitHub page. So there's some GitHub repositories that you just put it as a website and push it out there. It'll be like, it'll redirect that. I would think it's just to get like it's a nice way to
So IAP is a similar platform like Coursera or Udacity, where there's short courses. So like, for example, what I'm working on is fundamental layer. So like 8 to 10 hours, like basic intro, gives you the skills. And then there's medium and higher level courses that are all packaged together to form a specialization. So that would be like a standard pre-roll to get a credential at the end. It's designed to really give you a strong foundation to go out and do that.
Oh, it was his birthday, that's why. Like this cost would be like somewhere around $2,000. It was like really, if you find it, yeah, if you find it.